All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, joining Diego and I. He really just, this little sleepyhead wanted to be here for the video today. And we're talking about macros. You hear a lot of macro verbiage thrown around the health and fitness space. We're not talking economics. We're talking about tracking macros, counting macros, macro counting, if it fits your macros. So what are these? So macros is a shorthand for the word macronutrients. That word's a little bit longer. And macronutrients are basically, it's a way of classification of protein, fat, and carbohydrate. So when someone says they're tracking their macros or they're counting their macros, that means they're keeping tabs on their intake of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Those are our three macronutrients. So where this comes into play, when it comes into, you're going to lay down now? Okay, good. So when it comes into the playing like the weight loss field, tracking macros is a little bit more elevated from a what do I want to say, like scientific standpoint, to develop the physique you're going for, as compared to point blank just calorie counting, or like a point system that some other like weight loss companies use, or like like eating out of like various colored containers that other companies kind of use. So what happens when you restrict calories in any way, shape, or form? That means you're eating less from the three macros: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Most of that will drop when you go into a calorie deficit, when you diet for fat loss. So when you are simply just counting calories, for many people, that is 100% the right approach. You are very new to this space, just trying to get a little weight off, maybe feel a little bit healthier, just get more comfortable in your clothing, and you're going to eat a little bit less in the process. That may be the exact perfect step for you. Most women that come to me have already tried things like that and they're not working. We need a little bit more. So what happens when you just cut calories for weight loss? We can't really depict where those fat stores or the weight loss is coming from. So in a calorie deficit, your body can also lose muscle tissue. So sometimes when people restrict calories in general without any structure around how the calories are being restricted, they kind of fall into the like skinny fat category. Again, not that I would ever call anyone that, but it's what I hear a lot. People coming to me, making sure like they're like, I don't want to look skinny fat, or like, a coworker who went on this like weird, like kind of vague diet, a lot of juices, a lot of supplements, and they're like, they lost weight, but like they don't look healthy. They don't look good. Like, I don't want that. So how do we avoid looking like that? Is instead of just counting or restricting calories, we actually do it from a place of counting our macros. By doing that, what we are keeping tabs on is the three big nutrients: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Most coaches like myself also keep an eye on fiber intake, so we're getting less of micronutrients as well, where you're looking at your vitamins and your minerals, things like that from food. But when we look at those three macros, you're prioritizing protein enough where when you are losing weight, it makes your body more likely to lose that weight from your fat tissue, not your muscle. Because don't we want to keep the muscle that we work so hard for to give us like the look? That's how you look better naked. You have some good muscle tissue on you. So by eating enough protein, that's going to make sure that when our body does decide to use itself, to oxidize some of its own tissue for energy, it's more likely to pick that tissue from fat, not muscle. That's a good thing for dieting. And then when we look at, carbohydrates, think of carbohydrates like the Amazon Prime of energy. It is how you get energy and quickly. And it's one of the most commonly manipulated macronutrients in the weight loss space. And then when we look at fats, we're looking, obviously, if you've seen Food Network, fat is flavor, but it's also essential. I mean, every one of our cells is surrounded by what is called a phospholipid bilayer. That's fat. And there are certain things in the foods that we eat from a vitamin mineral standpoint that are only fat soluble vitamins. So if we don't have enough dietary fat, we're not even absorbing some of the vitamins from the things that we're eating. So by counting your macros, specifically proteins, fats, carbohydrates, in a weight loss journey, a fitness journey, you can give your body the right tools to accomplish the goal at hand, instead of just kind of manipulating things a little bit and not really sure what you're going to look like on the other side. Macros are not for everyone. And there is a learning curve. You have to put time and effort into learning how to track your macros, apply it into your life, learn some little like hacks and tricks of the trade just so it doesn't turn into a whole big time suck. But take some time and energy right out of the gates. And then a lot of my clients, they kind of shift from the, oh my God, this is a lot. What have I done? To where has this been my entire life? It really gives you quite a bit of freedom in regards to like eating out, enjoying some drinks, having your favorite foods, just not all of your favorite foods at the exact same time in extraordinary quantities. So just wanted to get just provide some clarity on what macros are. Macro tracking is a fancy way for someone to saying they're keeping tabs on their overall intake of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, typically on a daily basis to complement their health goals, their physique goals, their weight loss goals, however you want to say it, and whatever goals you're chasing. Macros can be a part of that. If you've never counted a calorie in your life, not a big dieter, you haven't ever really dieted, you might not need to go down that route in simply calorie counting, or just being a little bit more mindful of portion size might be the way to go for you. But really just wanted to provide some context onto what macro tracking actually is and how it kind of compares to calorie counting. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them below this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you later this week.